Hi, this is Will with My Spiritual Clarity, and this video is about hyper responsibility and how that's part of what I call the helper's paradox. So, if you haven't seen my videos before, the helper's paradox is that the more a person needs to help, the less able they are to help. So, it's a paradox because we have this honest desire to help, to be of service, but if it becomes, or when it becomes a need or a knee jerk response, it actually ends up getting in the way and we can't be of service. It's the parent who jumps in to help the child even before the child identifies that they have a need. So I've noticed with my daughter, she's almost 5 now, but when she would fall as a toddler, toddling around and she would fall, I noticed my knee-jerk response, my need to jump in after she'd fallen before she even let me know if it was bad. Now, I'm not talking about if she fell and hit something and obviously I need to step in. I'm talking about she's just falling, nothing in the way, where she falls in a soft pillow, but I had a need to jump in. That's one of many, many examples of when that need to help gets in the way of actually helping, because in the long term, that often is not the solution. So hypersensitivity is one aspect of the helper's paradox and how you can know if you're stuck in the helper's paradox. So hypersensitivity looks like, sorry, hyper responsibility. Sensitivity, that could definitely be another part. You hear the kids running around upstairs. Maybe not, but it's pretty lovely sound. So hyper responsibility is I have to save the world. I have to save my community. I have to save my son, daughter, spouse. Or it's up to me to help. Or no one else is going to do this. I have to. Or I need to make more money because I can't let my family down. I can't let so and so down. Now, all of those are valid. I'm not saying that they're not valid, but there's an aspect where when it becomes hyper responsibility, it's a straitjacket. It's binding. It's exhausting. It's draining and depleting. And I know this from a lifetime of personal experience. I started with when I was younger. I really believed it was my job to save the world, and thankfully, eventually, many people helped to knock some sense into me and help me to realize that I was arrogant, egotistical, and thinking that it was that I, in thinking one that people had asked me to save them, and two that it was my job or place at all. That's a whole other video. But that was part of this hyper responsibility. That was how it showed up for me. And then later in life, and currently, to be honest, it shows up around the money thing. Like it's my job. I've got to provide for my family. Even though my wife does quite well, and I don't, we've got a very different balance in our household. I still feel that need to provide, that need to be really responsible. When something goes wrong, I take extra responsibility. It was my fault. It was all I'm really quick to take responsibility myself, and I rarely blame other people because I automatically assume it was me or that I did something wrong or that I need to clean it up or fix it. So these are all different examples of hyper responsibility, and it's an aspect of the helper's paradox. So this is one of the ways you can see when you're caught in the helper's paradox, is when you're being too responsible. You're taking too much responsibility for other people, for situations, for the world, for your business, for your income. And that leads to bringing out the whip, the self-flagellation, the inner critic. And when you let that inner critic come out and kick your butt from here to kingdom come, it just feeds that hyper responsibility, which keeps you even more stuck in the helper's paradox. So, one tool that I want to share with you, and this is a biggie, especially if this is the first video you're seeing from me or on the helper's paradox, and even if it's the 20th, this is a biggie. And you can say a yes or a no to this and see if it can shift, or if you're willing to have it shift. So the belief that people need you. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Now, I talk about that energy clearing tool in some other videos. I'm not going to go into detail right now, but the main part is the willingness, and also identifying any resistance. But my child. Of course, your child needs you. I'm not saying to ignore your child. Of course, your employees or your boss need you in different ways. I'm not saying to ignore those things and to become and pretend like you have no needs or desires. It's not what I'm talking about. What I'm looking to do is to release and deflate the energetic charge that you have so that you can choose instead of reacting, that you can respond instead of react. So let's try that one more time. And this time, put in that specific situation. So if there was a client I was recently working with where this came up, and so for that person, it would be around income, or I'll do it for myself around income. For you, it could be, your local church or community organization that really needs you if you're on the board of directors or whatever it is. Or maybe it's your kids, or maybe it's your business. So input that specific situation. So the belief that they need you. So for me, that my family needs me. Ow! As soon as you get specific, the energy increases. So the belief that they need you, the belief that my family needs me to make more money or to make money. Ow! Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Oh, I can feel the resistance of that. It's amazing. As soon as you get specific. So see where that lands for you and see if you're willing to give a yes or a no. So hyper responsibility, big part of the helper's paradox. I hope this has been helpful to help you see one of the other aspects or one of the many aspects of the helper's paradox, where and how it might show up in your life, so that you can know next steps of how to actually deal with, identify, and then deal with the helper's paradox. So this is Will with My Spiritual Clarity. Please do like or subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you want more information about any of this, please go to myspiritualclarity.com, and I'd love to connect. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon, hopefully. Bye-bye for now.